Hey guys, welcome to Love and Info with your host, Love and Info. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody woke up this morning? We woke up, so that's something nowadays, to wake the fuck up. It's definitely a good thing. Wake the fuck up. That's all you gotta do every morning. Get the fuck out of bed. Do something. Anyway, how am I doing? I'm having a lovely ritual morning. Just went to the park. I rode a little bit. It's my days off. Today is really my day off because I no longer have to go to my DUI classes on Mondays. I've already finished my Monday classes. I have only my Tuesday groups now. I have 3 left. So after tomorrow, I have 2. And that's it for that part. And community service and a bunch of other shit. But anyway, that'll be dealt with. Yeah. So today we're gonna talk about. I always talk about how redefining reality is by stepping into the chaos into your life. And I say those words a lot. Redefining, reinventing. But where's that step of our life? There's a lot of things that happen to us that are just like bad shit. Sometimes bad shit just happens to us. We're like in bad places in life. And even there, in our darkest moment, must always have to remember that it's up to us to see the light. It's up to us to get the best out of it. It's not about what happens to us. It's about how we react, because our reaction comes from ourselves, reflects into our reality, because that's how it works, So, I was watching this TED Talk a while ago, and it was called "How the Worst Moments in Your Life Makes Us Who We Are." I believe that's what it was called. It was by this lady, very very smart lady. I believe she was a psychologist or some kind of teacher. I don't know. I'm horrible with my reference, but I feel like as long as it's in TED Talks and it really comes from there, then people's like, oh, okay, this is there. But bottom line, she was telling her story and stuff like that, and I lived for her concept. I lived for her concept on how the worst things in life makes us who we are, whether it's positive or negative, is who we are. And I don't think she was the only one that said that. I think I even heard this other guy with this other talk when I first started watching them. Obviously, this is a concept that is common around great minds, because there's people with great minds that give these speeches. So opening to learn from this is definitely a good thing. So that's what I did. Now that I'm looking back and it's been a while, I wanted to tell you guys something about the worst parts of my life and what good came out of it, because that's what these people did. They went there and they dropped the concept and they delivered their story. This was a story about how my YouTube channel was born, how the idea of me following and pursuing my dreams and my art was born, and how this was born in one of the worst places I've ever been. In one of the most darkest, most non-self-loving, boner biter, bastard, unca fucker moments of my life. I love South Park. But yeah, so I was away from home, I was up in Palm Springs, and I was using every day. It was an everyday thing. That's when it became an everyday thing. That's when it became a thing where I no longer cared about anything else. I was like, I'm hooked in this little cocoon. I'm away from everything, and I don't need to come out. It's like when you hit so low in the point of your addiction, when you're like, there's no point of coming out. There's no point of getting out of it right now. I'm in the worst, And it even got to a point in which there's different ways of doing meth, and I injected it that one night. It was the only time I've ever done it. Not that it matters how many times I've done it, but that was the only time I've ever done it. And to me, it wasn't only what I did, but at what point of my addiction I did it. And once I did that, it seemed like everybody was like, okay, yeah, that's everybody knows where this goes, But at the same time, it's like where I was in my addiction period, smoking it was horrible too. And I no longer care to make a connection with anybody. I no longer care to fake a connection. I was in my most selfish peak, in which you're mad at the world and you dare to be angry. I don't know if you guys seen that. I forgot what the guy was called, but it's like this thing of this graphic of an addiction, and it showed what point of addiction you are and stuff like that, and a recovery or whatnot at one point. But regardless, I was at a point where I was angry at everybody else because I wasn't taking care of myself. I didn't love myself. I hated the world. I felt like everybody was attacking me, and I felt like everybody owed me something. And people were watching me spiral down, like, you know. And I remember I was staying at a friend's house, and I like, you know, when you're a drug addict and you're young and you're out on the streets, over welcoming your stay, it's like not an uncommon thing. It's so much not uncommon that the people whose places you over welcome your stay, it's almost like they're ready for it, and they already know those are the patterns. It doesn't mean that any of it is okay, you know. But at that point, I was going through that, and I just remember that I didn't even care to talk to this person, to talk to anybody. I just wanted to get high and keep on following this frenetic search for a sexual fantasy that was never going to come true, because every time it came close to you would change it, because you were chasing something and you could focus on that, and the environment was perfect for it. It's a sex environment up there. It's a sex work environment. It's a free-for-all, hole-in-the-wall, Palm Springs backyard environment. You know, that's what the fuck it is in that town. Which is sad because I used to have a lot of class, but I still love it. That's my second home. My third home. But you know, where the place was at, where I was at, where my drug addiction was at. And I remember I'm coming back in after a couple nights of not sleeping, and I'm sitting there and I'm feeling like I'm completely in an outer body experience. It's almost like, or maybe not, maybe the opposite of an outer body experience. It was just, I feel like there was no substance to me but the skin and bones. I could just feel the skin tied to me, and it felt wet and dry at the same time. It was like cold. It was like cold plastic on top of me. That's how I felt. And I'm sitting there, not even coming down yet, still probably high as a fucking kite. And I think every addict goes through this thing in which you get so lost and fed up with your own frenetic infatuation of your choice, that at that point was sex to me, that I needed to hyper focus on something else. And I said, lately, you know, I've been having talks about my dreams, and it was coming up afloat already how I wanted to do something else than that. I wanted to stop escorting, and I wanted to be an artist, and I was talking to people about my music. And by then, it was just talk. It was just talk that was taking me somewhere, you know. And I remember I came and I sat on the bed, and I'm watching videos and stuff on YouTube, and I come across one of Gary Vee's videos. And in that video, I don't know what the hell it was about the video, man. Maybe it was just the way he delivered this information. Maybe it was just his outlook, that it made it seem so simple for a mind like mine to work out and develop as an idea. That I could be my own brand, that I can be my own person, that it's not that fucking hard, that the world is in my hands, and that I just have to take it, that it's not too late, that this and this and that. And that's what he does. That's what the man's job. That's what he does. He's an inspirational speaker. He inspired me that moment. And from that moment, I forgot which one of his fucking videos was, to be honest. I think it was that one little girl that sings toys, or box of toys. And then they were recording them, but I don't think she knew they were being recorded, you know. And that was the whole idea, to get her raw, you know. And then I think, and like, he goes, well, it's this easy. She goes, you have a song called Toys, Box of Toys. There's a new thing on Netflix coming out that is called Toys something, you know. And you can get all this information from the internet and stuff. And he explained how and everything. And he goes, you go ahead and you look at the director and tell him that you have a theme song for him and this and this and that. And I was like, holy fuck, it really is that easy. Two different scales, it really is that fucking easy. And acknowledging to myself the little self-worth that I still acknowledge in myself told me I'm good with people. I can make any of this shit happen. And you're gonna make any of this shit happen, you know? Because at the same time, no matter how much I've let people down and how many lessons they try to teach me, I know that every single second spent was spent because it was thought of as worthy. And the more I get to love myself is the more I get to see this bigger picture of myself. And this by far has been the best idea I've ever fucking had. The most proud of one too was to start this channel and to tell you guys everything, and to come over here and do this and talk about my music. And the feedback is amazing and the connection is amazing, and I can never get tired of telling you how much I really think of everyone as a star because of that. And why do I always say we're all stars, you know? And yeah, so that was the worst moment of my life and the best idea I've ever gotten out of it. That is how the worst moments in our life makes us who we are, because that is who I am. And that is the worst moment of my life so far. So I'm gonna sing a song and then we're gonna call it a day. The song is called Cloudy Days, and it could have been a better fucking time for this song. Actually, should I sing Cloudy Days? You know what? I'm gonna sing Trouble. How does that song start? I'm gonna sing Trouble. I'm gonna sing Trouble. I'm gonna sing #Trouble instead. You know, because you know how at the end I told you guys how much I appreciated every single second ever spent on me because it was seen as worthy. And no matter how charged with punishment the scroll is, when the menace of yours should find me, it should find me unafraid, or something like that. I don't know. I need to really memorize this shit. But bottom line, there it goes. I'm gonna sing Trouble. Okay, I'm gonna sing Trouble. I'm addicted to the highways I can ride on. No, wait, I'm addicted to the highways I can ride on. Okay, yeah, I remember. Okay. I'm addicted to the highways I can ride on. I'm a junkie to the places I can't reach. I'm walking in the dark. I'm stumbling in the dark. I'm walking really fast, catching fires at myself, and I don't know why. And they say, hey, hey, trouble. Hey, 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 trouble. Hey, hey, trouble. As I'm walking by. And they say, hey, hey, trouble. Hey, 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 trouble. Hey, hey, trouble. As I'm walking by. And yet I feel like everybody wants me. Like everybody needs me. Like everybody wants to be a part of the life. And they say, hey, hey, trouble. Hey, 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 trouble. Hey, hey, trouble. As I'm walking by. We're all stars. Let's shine like one.